Hello, welcome to the next video in Lose Weight with Data. In this one, I'm going to be reviewing the data that I've got, analysing it, and showing things like comparing the different foods, different exercises, tracking the short-term impact of salt, which is why you shouldn't really pay much attention to your daily weight measurements. It's much more important to just keep a track of your calories, and also the effect of losing weight on calorie burn, because as I've said in a previous video, it takes less energy to move a small body around the world than it does a big body. So let's get into it a little bit. So here, example day when I was partway through losing weight. At this point, I was around about 165 pounds. You can see here my goal was to lose a pound still per week, and my goal for that day 1,556 calories. Now if I go back a few weeks when I was a tiny bit heavier, my goal was 1,574 calories. If I go back a few months when I was about 10-20 pounds heavier, it was 1,679 calories. So you see, as long as you keep NutriCheck up to date on your profile and keep telling it what your current weight is, it will then update your goal to match what your calories target should be to keep maintaining losing 1 pound of weight per week. And the great thing is that when you're at the start of the journey, you can eat a hell of a lot. If we just go back to the start of my journey, so it's around about October 23, see, I could have 2,000 calories a day and still lose a pound a week in weight. And as you can see, I was actually having over 2,500 calories a day and still losing a pound of weight per week because I was exercising 644 calories. Also, if you look, the sort of exercise I'm doing, 10 minutes on a bike, and that's the sit down one with a rest while I'm reading a book. Apparently I did a bit more cycling. I've split it up there. Just 5 minutes walking around as fast as I can. And then most of it is just standing here, which I'm doing right now, by the way, because I'm so used to standing as I work. I'm standing for 300 minutes, 5 hours, on a standing desk, 370 calories. In fact, if you just stand for 7 hours a day and do nothing else different, eat the same as you always have, do the same exercise everywhere that you've always done in all the rest of your life, everything else the same, but just have a standing desk, you'll lose a pound a week. So that gives you an idea. The other reason why you need to make sure you tell NutriTrek in your profile about your weight as you keep changing your weight and your age, if you have a birthday during your weight loss journey, is it will alter the impact of exercise. Because of course, standing up at a standing desk when you're huge takes up lots more calories than standing up at a standing desk when you're light as a feather. So always keep that up to date, and then this will be accurately telling you when you've had your calories for the day. Also, if you're worrying, well, as I'm getting closer to my goal, I'm going to have to eat less and less, and it's going to get harder. It doesn't. I thought that, but honestly, my appetite gradually went down as I got lighter. In fact, I noticed that on a few days when I didn't have time to do any exercise, so I was too busy, and I worried, well, now I'm going to put on weight. Well, I just found myself being even less hungry. Your body will tell you if it needs energy, basically. So that's that. Now, I'm going to get into a bit of SQL. So those of you who are customers of Facts and Dimensions know that I'm delivering a weekly training session for free on how to do basic SQL joins. And in May 2025, I'll be starting a new one on how to do basic SQL analytics. And I'm going to use my Lose Weight with Data schema to help with that, because I've loaded all my data into the Facts and Dimensions database. So in this table, we've got all my food, exercise, left and goal data. That's the values from this line here every day. And we've also got the digital scales data. So that's how much I weighed every day. This isn't in day order. I'll just put in day order now. Order by time of measurement. So you can see that's how much I weighed when I started. And if we scroll to the bottom, how much I weighed when I weighed myself on the 17th of Feb. was 147 pounds only a couple of days earlier. That's all to do with salt intake, which I'm going to come on to in a bit. In that training, I'll be teaching students how to eventually write this, what looks like a very complicated sort of SQL query. But I've done it now. I'm not going to do that now. This is just about learning about losing weight. So this SQL query I've written gives us lots of information about my weight loss journey. So we've got the calories needed to meet my goal, the actual goal. This is during Christmas. This is what was this, January 2025. This is near when I was away for a week, so I didn't set the goal. Oh no, that's right. No, this is when I actually met my goal. That's correct. Yep, I'd met my goal, I think, and then so I decided to stop trying to lose weight, so I set it to maintain. So you can see here, 25th of January, that was the last week I was on my exercise routine and losing weight routine, and my calorie goal to lose weight was 1478. Then from that week onwards, I changed my weight loss target to 0 pounds per week, and now suddenly I was able to have an extra 500 calories per day, which is what I'm on now. Now, with this SQL query I've written, I've got all sorts of information. This is the complete total from the beginning, calories that I'm allowed to have to meet my goal, the total cumulatively from the start of my diet to the end of my diet. This one is how many calories left I'm allowed to eat at the end of each day, how many were left over that I could still consume, and how many cumulatively were left. Calories consumed. Calories consumed. There's loads more. I won't go through every single one. I think the most important one here, though, is over here. This one is the actual weight loss to date. So you can see at the beginning, I'd lost a pound, apparently, from the day before I started. This is a lot of that salt. So you notice that if you go a couple of days later, I'd actually gained weight. And then I'd gained a bit more weight, then I'd lost, then I'd gained, then I'd lost, then I'd gained, then I'd lost. This is why it's important not to worry about your weight at the start of each day, because it will go up and down. What matters is that the general rate is down. You can see, like here, this is January 2022, about 4 months in, and I'd lost 21 pounds. That's about right, a pound a week. Keep going down and down and down. If I go all the way to the bottom, 60 pounds weight loss to date. If we compare that, this is the weight loss to date expected based on the calories that I'd had, the calorie deficit I'd had. So by this point, I'd had a 213,000 calorie deficit over the 16 months, which meant that I should have lost 60.9 pounds. And I'd actually lost 60.4 pounds. Pretty much bang on. This is why it's so good to use your calorie deficit to maintain it, to sort of manage your weight loss, and not just looking at the scales every day. Because if we look up here, over Christmas, let's see, around here. So I temporarily set my weight loss goal to 0 pounds a day, so for 2 weeks, which meant that I should have just maintained for 2 weeks. But I actually allowed myself to eat excess calories. And here, the calorie deficit, we'll just expand this column here. You can see the calorie deficit's in the negative. In other words, I was adding calories on top of what I should be eating, therefore my weight should have gone up. So with that, the expected weight by the end of Christmas, I should have hit about, I'd started, well, let's see. So starting Christmas around the 20th of December 2024, expected weight loss, I should have lost 60 pounds by then, and I had in fact lost 60 pounds by then. Then by the end of Christmas, so let's go to just after, say 2nd of January, expected weight loss going by the calorie deficit, I should be on 58 pounds. But I was on I'd only lost 51 pounds. So my weight had actually gone up quite a lot. So my weight had only supposed to have gone up by a couple of pounds, but had gone up by a hell of a lot. This is my actual weight, 157 pounds, whereas only a week earlier it was 150 pounds. So you can see I'd gained 7 pounds in just a few days. That was almost entirely down to salt. If we look over here, we've got my salt excess, and I've got lots of salt excess over the Christmas period. Whereas when I'm losing weight, my salt excess is sometimes actually, sometimes I'm having less salt than I need. And by the way, the salt limit for me was 6 grams per day. So on that day I had 4 grams too much, and on this day I had a little bit less salt than I'm allowed, and that day a little bit less. But over Christmas, I had consistently had lots of excess salt, and that's why my weight absolutely shot up. So you can see actual weight 151 pounds. Then by then 157 pounds. Now if we go to here, the 10th of January, when I'd gone back to my usual healthy eating, my actual weight 149 pounds. So I'd gone all the way up from 150 to 157 back to 149. This is down to salt. That's why you need to not worry so much about salt. Two good things about this though is that obviously we all know that we should eat less salt for health reasons, but there's such a short-term boost on my weight score by cutting down on my salt that that itself encourages me to cut down on my salt so I can get a good score the next day. So it's well worth remembering that. So that's a bit of a preview of the data, tracking my own weight loss journey. If you want to actually have a play with that, I've got a link in the description below where you can get to see the data you see on the screen right now. There's thousands and thousands of tables of open data, census data, data dictionary, demography data, all sorts of stuff in here. And of course, the lose weight with data schema that I'm talking about in this video. And go right ahead, you get a 30-day free trial, you can then go ahead and have a play. So that concludes this video. Thanks very much.